We'll take a look at our hottest temperatures ever recorded at Drake Field Airport in Fayetteville and Fort Smith Regional Airport, of course, in Fort Smith. It actually happened 15 years ago today. It got to 110 degrees, not the heat index. The air temperature on August 3rd, 2011, and the same day, August 3rd, 2011, got to 115 degrees. Pretty crazy. Those are the hottest temperatures recorded in Fayetteville and Fort Smith. Technically, the hottest temperature ever in Arkansas, you probably didn't know this, was actually in Ozark back in 1936, where it got to 120 degrees. So, wow, very hot. Luckily, we're not up to those values right now, but it's 89 in Bentonville, 88 in Fayetteville. Fort Smith and Ozark were sitting in 95 and 93, respectively. Maybe you've noticed a bit of a hazy sky out there. In fact, if we kind of jump to our Rogers camera, you kind of see that hazy, milky sky out there. And overall, if we actually look at our Poto camera, you kind of notice that a little bit too. We're sitting at 95 degrees. We kind of look kind of just behind Kavanaugh Hill there in the horizon. Definitely more of that milky sky. Here's the reason why. Get a little bit of that wildfire smoke that we're still dealing with from the wildfires out west, specifically in the Pacific Northwest, and all that wildfire smoke continues to kind of drift its way eastward. And so we're certainly seeing a little bit of that in the sky this evening. Not really impacting our air quality too much, so that's good. But maybe for sunset tonight, you might notice just a little extra orange tint to that sunset once we get there in the next couple hours. Tonight's low temperatures, not as cool as what we woke up to this morning, but still upper 60s. Northwest Arkansas, a little bit warmer in the River Valley, but we'll call it about lower 70s under those mostly clear skies. And then that warming trend will continue into your Tuesday. In fact, we expect mid-90s in Northwest Arkansas, so not low 90s, mid-90s. We're probably getting into the upper 90s, even close to 100 in a couple isolated spots for the River Valley. It's going to be mostly sunny, kind of similar to what we had today. A few clouds built in to the afternoon, but luckily our humidity, it's not going to be super high tomorrow, but it starts to creep up a little bit later in the week. In fact, already by Wednesday, so the middle of the week, our heat index values in the River Valley are probably just over 105. So we might have a heat advisory in place for that Interstate 40 corridor. Northwest Arkansas, it's still hot, but maybe not as hot as 105, probably closer to, say, 100. We might get a little bit of relief toward the end of the week, and here's the reason why. There's going to be a cold front way off to our north. It's going to start to sink in through the Great Plains the next couple of days. Doesn't really impact our weather until probably toward the end of this week. So Wednesday evening we'll have a slight chance, but overall I think most of us are dry. Here comes that front. It gets caught up a little bit to our north. It's always going to stall out across Kansas and Missouri. So Thursday, the better rain chances are to our north in the Show Me State of Missouri. Then that front starts to come down a little bit further south, and it pretty much starts to dissipate late Thursday night into Friday. But as that does so, we could still be left with enough moisture, enough upper level energy as it swings through that we could get at least some scattered showers and storms as it stands right now, Thursday into Friday. So that would be nice if we maybe picked up a little bit of rainfall, considering August is one of our drier months in the calendar year. So we're up to the mid-90s for Tuesday, Wednesday. Here comes the temperatures coming down a little bit. I don't want to say cooling off necessarily because it's still kind of hot. We're up to 90 there on Friday. That's probably our coolest days in the 7-day. And then Saturday, Sunday, those rain chances come down a little bit. These are very isolated. We start to warm up a little bit closer to those lower 90s probably for the upcoming weekend. And then for the River Valley, we're looking at temperatures close to 100, not just tomorrow on Tuesday, but Wednesday. We could potentially rack up another triple-digit day. Here comes the rain chances Thursday and into Friday. And then as we get to the weekend, it's still hot. You know, at least it's not 115, but we're still looking at those temperatures warming up to the mid to upper 90s through the next 7 days. It looks pretty dry to start out early next week.
I think a lot of us are just wanting another weekend like we just had. It almost felt like fall at moments.
A little bit, yeah. We had someone ask in our editorial meeting earlier. They said, "Oh, was that weekend a sign that we get multiple cold fronts?" And the answer to them, just to be blunt, is just no. We don't expect too many cold fronts in the near future. It's August. We usually have to wait until September and October for that.
So what you're saying is, if you're going outside, you need to bring sunblock?
Oh yeah.